Hey everyone, I think we're recording. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and watch this webinar or listen to it. I love sharing the benefits of essential oils with you, and today this topic is it's a little bit very near and dear to my heart. I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper on why I like to use the oils. So bear with me. This is my first webinar using a Zoom chat. So we'll see how I do with this screen sharing. I'll move as fast as I can. And we can get right into it. Addiction, recovery, and essential oils. Woohoo! So, sometimes when we see the word addiction, it's more of a, it's not always an uplifting word. And, but the word that follows here is recovery, which is the other side of addiction, and which is something that is very much possible. And for anyone, for that matter. But I want to share a little bit today just about how I have used the oils in my own life, and how they help me on a daily basis with my own recovery. Oh, a little bit about myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ginny Radke, and I'm a Floridian living up in Ottawa, Ontario. Met a Canadian and married him, and we've been living up here now for 7 years. I have 2 incredible children that I am lucky enough to be home with. My son is in SK, and he'll be starting grade 1 next year, and my little daughter's 2.5, and I'm home with her throughout the day, which is a blessing, but has its challenges as well, as some of you know. About 1.5 years ago, I got involved with doTERRA, started using the oils on a daily basis, fell in love with them very quickly, and decided that I wanted to become a wellness advocate and start sharing the benefits of these oils with anyone that had an interest. I'm also a teacher. I haven't taught since I moved to Canada, but I am a special education teacher. And I also, I am a real promoter of self-love. I think that it is just the keystone to everything. So what are we going to talk about? Just a little quickly about my story. We're going to talk about what are essential oils, how do we use them, and some specific oils that really help support recovery and emotional wellness. Why use essential oils? I say, why not? With all the junk that we are using today, it is just everywhere. The synthetics, they're in the grocery store, they're in the drugstore, there's commercials on TV, and there is so much junk out there that we are consuming and ingesting. So why not use something that is 100% natural, like plant medicine? Essential oils aren't going to have any type of side effects on our bodies, and they're going to promote healing. Very easy to use. Oh, I think I hear my family coming. Very easy to use. So 1 drop is really, I tell everybody, 1 drop is 1 dose. It's all you need, because they're 50 to 75 times more powerful than herbs. So what can they do for us? Well, some of the benefits of using oils in recovery would look like improved sleep, uplifting, help with digestive issues, respiratory, aches and pains. I do want to say, I'm going to say it a couple of times throughout this webinar, essential oils cannot cure addiction. That is certainly not what I am getting at here. I you know, a little bit about myself. I started the journey in recovery 11 years ago, and I was not using essential oils at the time. And it was, you know, it was a big life. It was a big life change for me. I, you know, my addiction was drinking. I had been drinking for years, and when I was 31, I decided that I had had enough. I wasn't going where I wanted in life, wasn't becoming the woman that I really wanted to be, wasn't living up to my potential, and I was sick and tired of having a dependency. So, you know, I decided to put that bottle down once and for all, and I reached out for help. And so it isn't just, you know, one thing that we do. I didn't just decide to stop drinking and then, you know, everything was going to change. It's a mind, body, spirit illness. I had a lot of work to do along the way. And so when I talk about oils, if there's anybody who's watching this who is struggling with their drinking, I don't want you to think that essential oils are going to be the cure-all, because they're not. And they're going to help support you when you do decide to, you know, try to let go of that addiction. So, with that said, let's move on. What are they? What are essential oils? They're the natural aromatic compounds that are found in various parts of plants. And it's really cool. They're found anywhere from the root of the plant to the stem, to the leaves, to the bark, to the fruit, the orange, the peel. The orange peel is where our wild orange comes from. And the purpose of those compounds is to protect the plant against different types of environmental threats, you know, whether that be viruses, bugs, to help with pollination. And so it's awesome because they can offer the same type of support to our bodies when we use them correctly. How do we use them? We use them aromatically, topically, and internally. And when I speak of internal use with essential oils, I'm speaking exclusively to doTERRA, being certified pure therapeutic grade. First way, aromatic use. So probably my favorite. This is going to be my favorite way to use oils because it's going to be the quickest way to get results. So our smell is going to have a direct effect on our mood, you know, when we breathe in the oils. I'll get into that in a second. So different types of aromatic use. The two main ones being inhalation, which we would put a drop in our hands, breathe it in. And then the second way would be diffusing. Two most common ways that I use oils on a daily basis. I get that diffuser going first thing in the morning, sometimes before my coffee, sometimes when the coffee's brewing. I like to diffuse in the kitchen. You know, when everybody's getting up in the morning, I do a lot of lemongrass and spearmint just to, you know, have an uplifting, happy mood when everybody comes in. So how smell affects how we feel, which is, you know, a really big part of all this. So our emotions, you know, if we think about it, our emotions in their smallest part are little molecules, you know, or like information carrying molecules that circulate throughout our body, you know, not just in our head. You know, we think, oh, emotions are just, you know, in my head, or it's just how I feel. They are part of how we feel, but they travel through neural pathways from our head to our heart and our gut. It's all very much connected. And the beauty of the oils is when we breathe in a pure plant oil, you know, like doTERRA, free of any type of synthetics, we breathe it in. It's going to go into the limbic portion of our brain. We breathe in through our nose, there's olfactory receptors, nerve receptors in our nose, and it's going to transmit this information basically that it's receiving to the limbic portion of our brain, which controls our emotions, our memories, how we feel. So when we breathe in, if you think about it, something that doesn't smell good, we immediately are not interested in moving on. But breathing in, gorgeous, beautiful scents that really open up our senses, it's going to make us feel good. And when we, when we feel good is when we, can move forward from there. I'll get into that just a little bit and a little bit more about our our emotions and the oils. But I do want to talk about the second way that we can use them would be topically. So, we're diffusing in the morning, maybe, having an inhale of peppermint to get us going. And then topically, that's going to be when we really want to apply to affected areas, whether it be a stomach ache or a headache. Starting off the day, maybe a little bit of oil on the bottoms of our feet. Balance is gorgeous for that. So pulse points is the main area that I suggest using, anywhere, if you can think about just our different meridians on our body as well. And because the oils are transdermal, they have the ability to absorb into our skin and directly into our circulatory system. Internal use, which would be the third way to use the oils, and like I said, strictly, I'm only speaking doTERRA on this. I had used oils for years and never in a million years thought about consuming them. But when I opened up my first bottle of lemon oil, it just smelled so much like that lemon rind. I had to taste it, and I was blown away. And that's when I really started to dig in and do more research on this company and where are these oils from. But as I have here on the screen, if you are thinking about using oils, you always want to make sure that there's supplement facts on the back, that a type of direction or is labeled for dietary use. And using internally, the main way I do would be maybe like one drop in 8 ounces of water, whether that be a citrus oil, very detoxifying. I like ginger, peppermint, maybe for digestive, a bit of a stomach ache. And you think about it, like oils that you would cook with, oils that are herbs, they're going to be very safe for ingestion. So how do they work with our bodies? I was kind of getting at that a little bit when I talked about how, they work with our emotions and we breathe them in. So if we look at one drop, and I had said one drop is one dose, one drop of essential oil contains hundreds of different compounds. And we talked about how these molecules pass through our skin and into our circulatory system. And what's, really cool about that is all the different compounds, they all have different uses as well. They all have different ways that they can support our body. They're going to work cellularly, like I talked about as well. So they're going to address, the root causes that our body has and help, promote healing and help promote us to a state of balance. Using oils safely. I always say dilute, dilute, dilute. Start when you're starting off, and less is more. So there's certain oils that we must dilute with. They're going to be very hot oils such as oregano, cloves, cinnamon, cassia, wintergreen can be hot. So one good way of looking at it would be, 1 teaspoon per 1 drop. And we're talking carrier oil. And a carrier oil would be a vegetable oil such as I use fractionated coconut oil. If you get oil in your eyes, it's not going to blind you. Although if you got a little bit of peppermint in your eyes, it might feel like it at first. But our immediate reaction is to go put water on our eyes, and that's not going to do it. Water and oil don't mix, and what can even happen is that water can drive it deeper into the tissue. So you want to dilute it. That's when you want to get out your carrier oil, your coconut oil. I've gotten oil in my eyes. I've gotten it in my children's eyes. I just take a napkin or something, I pour coconut oil on it, and then just start wiping the eyes, and you can feel the sensitivity go away immediately. So let's talk about some oils we can use. And the first one I want to say is peppermint. Peppermint is one of my favorites. It's one that we've probably all used before. Peppermint is known as the oil of a buoyant heart. And, you know, we talk about not only do the oils have, you know, incredible ways that they can help us physically, but they can also help us emotionally. They also have, you know, emotional benefits and properties. So when we use peppermint, when we breathe in peppermint, you know, it is a sense of optimism, you know, renewed strength, clarity. It's very purifying and stimulating for the mind, and can help with, you know, our memory, our focus, uplifting, I said, soothing as well, cooling, incredible for respiratory, you know, digestion, and, you know, overall energizing. Different ways I use peppermint. I love to do peppermint and wild orange. We're going to talk about that one next. I love to put the two of them together. It's going to be very stimulating, uplifting, and also happy and energizing as well. Other ways to use it. It's great to diffuse. It's really nice if I have any type of head tension. I'll rub a little on my temples, top of my head, behind my back. I love a drop in my water for a little bit of a stomach ache. And the main way I use it the most, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a couple drops of peppermint, rub my hands together, and some deep, deep breathing to really, really gets rid of brain fog, and, you know, helps give me a sense of clarity. Energy boost, really, too. Just boom, gives you that shift. And then the other one I talked about, wild orange, our oil of abundance. So this is one. Not only is it uplifting, but it's also calming to the nerves. It is our citrus oils, you know, orange, lemon, bergamot. They're all going to have, you know, natural antidepressant qualities to them. They're going to be uplifting, and they're also going to be calming. One thing I'd like to say too with the wild orange and any of our citrus oils, if you do rub some on your skin, we don't have to worry about it this time of year, but if you rub a little bit on your skin, they're photosensitive. So you will want to be aware of being out in the sun up to 12 hours after, because it could give you a little bit of a sunburn. One of my favorites, Easy Air, as we call it in Canada, and Breathe in the States. So this is the oil of breath. This is our respiratory blend. This is a beautiful oil. This one is peppermint, eucalyptus, lemon, cardamom, and laurel leaf. Think open airways. You know, we used to use Vicks a lot when we were growing up. Oh, it sounds like somebody's upset up there. So this is open airways, promotes clear breathing, soothes anxiety. This is such a nice oil to use before yoga. I like to take 3 deep breaths, and you just open up so much, and you can breathe deeper. On Guard, this is our protective blend. This is such an incredible oil for immune support. This one is wild orange, cloves, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Positive emotional properties of this one would be we're protected, capable, helps with boundaries, integrity, and strength. This is highly antibacterial and antiviral, and so it's going to support healthy immune function, healthy respiratory function. This is a nice hand sanitizer to use as well. Just a gorgeous, beautiful oil to have. Lavender. We all have heard of lavender as well. This is like peppermint to me. Lavender and peppermint, just use them every day. I carry them around with me. Lavender is the oil of communication, helping us speak our truth, emotional honesty. That's something that, you know, where it's always a work in progress, learning how to really speak our truth. We call lavender the Swiss Army knife of essential oils because it has so many uses, but the main one being calming, soothing. So it's going to help with anxiety. It's going to help with skin. It's going to help with sleep. It is it's just such an incredible universal oil to use. Frankincense. Frankincense is the king of all oils, and I find, like lavender, can be used for almost anything. Very calming, very soothing, anti-inflammatory. And also there's something, you know, we all think of frankincense and it goes back to biblical times, for some people, church. So there's some sort of spiritual correlation that goes along with frankincense. So really a calming and almost like mind's eye opening oil to use. I like to put a drop in my hand and sometimes just hold it over my face, breathe it in, and, you know, kind of rub it up here on my third eye, and then again on the back of my neck. Another really nice oil to diffuse with yoga, meditation, sleep. Frankincense is an oil that can be blended with anything. It is only going to, you know, bring out, you know, positive properties in all the other oils as well. Now getting into another one of our blends. This one is Deep Blue. This is our Deep Blue rub is going to be for anything aches and pains. This is wintergreen, camphor, peppermint, helichrysum, ylang ylang, blue tansy, and blue chamomile. And so not only is it going to be soothing for our achy joints, but it's also going to be healing. You know, the helichrysum in there is going to help with, you know, the inflammation and, you know, healing those sore joints and where we're getting our aches and pains, head tension, back tension. We store so much of our emotions in our neck and in our lower back. At least for me, that's my two go-to areas. When I'm stressed out and I have too much on my mind, my back's gonna, first it's gonna be in my neck and then it's gonna move into my back. And I find, you know, doing some stretching, a little bit of yoga, taking some time to be quiet. I love applying the Deep Blue, rub it into my neck and lower back, and I can immediately feel that release that I'm looking for. Balance and Serenity are two that I want to talk about. Balance would be our grounding oil, and it is some tree oil, spruce, whole wood. It has blue tansy, frankincense, and blue chamomile. This is going to be a more heavier, grounding, calming oil. And Serenity is known as our restful blend. So this is lavender, marjoram, chamomile, ylang ylang, sandalwood, and vanilla bean. Beautiful. But when you combine these two oils together, there is it is incredible. Definitely all things calming and relaxing. And also, you know, with just a hint, I think it's the spruce and the frankincense in there, but you know, you're calm and relaxed, but there's also just a hint of, you know, energy or clarity that comes with it. So these two together, I don't diffuse them as much. These are some that I use in a roller. I use a 10 ml roller. I put about 15 drops of each, top it off with coconut oil, and this is my perfume. This is my carry it around with me, apply it on my wrists, on the back of my neck, on my feet. It's just one of my favorite go-to combinations. And this is going to be overall, you know, when people say, oh, what do I use for anxiety? This would be the most, I think this gives you the most punch for anxiety of the essential oils that I use right now. And the main reason being vetiver. Vetiver is a root oil. It's a very heavy oil, and it is in one of the oils in Peace. You put it upside down and it won't even come out. It is so thick and heavy and grounding. So this is vetiver, lavender, ylang ylang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram, and spearmint. Peace is going to be a beautiful oil to diffuse when you're trying to get quiet. It is very concentrated, so even in the diffuser, sometimes 1 drop is enough, 2 drops, 3 drops max. Beautiful oil to use in the roller like I have here, bottoms of the feet, back of neck, top of the forehead. You know, I like to also rub oils on my abdomen, on my tummy area. So I was speaking earlier about, you know, our neural pathways and our emotions and how they're all connected. Our stomach is full of serotonin receptors. And so that is going to be an area that is probably underutilized. So I love to rub oils on my stomach, get that serotonin flowing. That's what we're all looking for. Everybody loves to have the serotonin pumping. And I think especially people that, you know, there might be a little bit of, if there are some addiction issues going on, whatever that might be, alcohol, drugs, sugar, sex, work, the list goes on and on. We love to get the serotonin going. Why I chose doTERRA. I spoke a little bit about it. For me, I just had to open up the bottle and smell my first sniff of lemon, and that was it. I was blown away. I had never smelled anything like it before. But then when I started to learn more and more about the purity of them in the company, and part of what's amazing about doTERRA is how they source their oils. So we source in over 40 different countries throughout the world, a lot of them being underdeveloped countries, and they go in where the plants grow indigenously. So these are plants growing in their natural habitat. And doTERRA works with the farmers and works with the distillers in these countries who are the experts. They are the ones that have been growing these crops for sometimes generations. And they work with them in the communities. They bring them together to form co-ops. So it's more than just knowing, you know, where we get our oil from and how they're grown and when they're harvested and the purity. What also goes into this company is empowering these communities as well, empowering the individuals and the farmers. They're paid fair, they're paid on time. doTERRA has a huge humanitarian foundation called Healing Hands. So when we go into communities, building schools, ensuring that girls can go to school, water, you know, higher level education. Their goal is to go into these communities and, number one, not leave, but also bring them up, to bring them to a better quality of living than they were before doTERRA got there. So I guess we're at the end, because I'm going to talk about how can you get these oils into your home. The easiest way, the easiest way to get going with using doTERRA is to just open up your own account. And we have two ways of doing that. You can open up your account, and if you're if you're US, it's $35. If you're Canadian, it's $42. And at that time, you receive wholesale pricing for the entire year. With that is no monthly order required. It's just like you just open up your own doTERRA account, you have your cart, you go in there, you put in what you want, it's shipped directly to you. The most popular way to get started and get the oils into your home would be to buy a kit. And I have a couple of kits here. When you do buy a kit, I like to call them a starter kit, because that's what they are, no matter what the size is. When you buy a kit, doTERRA waives that enrollment fee, whether it be the $35 or the $42. So that's the best way to go. You're going to end up getting a discount on most of the oils when you buy a kit. And then I've also mentioned their free educational support. This is the other thing that's incredible about this company and why I'm doing exactly what I'm doing. Free educational support. I'm a teacher, but I'm not working in the school system right now. I love to teach. I love to educate. I love to share. And the world of essential oils is so vast, and there's so much to learn. We're constantly learning. We are just on the tip of the iceberg here. So part of what we offer is continued educational support. I host, free classes and workshops and webinars, and I want to, help you on your journey. I would love to, walk with you on this path. So let's connect. You can reach me by email. You can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on Instagram. If you know me personally, call me. Let's get together, have a cup of tea, talk a little bit more about the oils, or not. Or let's not talk about the oils. Let's talk about what's going on with you. As I said here, I would love to walk with you in your journey in recovery, if that's something that you're already on or something that you're thinking about. And if essential oils are an interest to you, it would be my honor to help you along with them. And if they're not, but you have been thinking about, quitting drinking, or there's something that you'd like a little bit of help with, recovery-wise, connect with me as well. I can share my experience with you in much more depth personally, and also try to guide you in the right direction of where you're headed. So let's stop our screen share here. See if I can figure out what to do. All right, so again, thank you so much for your time, and let's get in touch. Let's connect, and until then, have a beautiful day. Thank you.